I'm sorry about that. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again for another edition of Let's Talk 1943, the Business Spotlight Edition. And we have a gentleman, Chancellor Jackson, is going to be talking about so many things. And actually, it's so relevant on what just happened yesterday. So we're going to get into that in a minute. And as I always say, you ready? Let's talk. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I'll just formally introduce Chancellor. He's an author. He has actually helped people write books as well as a story he has to tell. And we are so intrigued about the story. And finding your purpose, being spiritual, entrepreneurship, the list goes on and on. So welcome, Chancellor Jackson, to our show.
Hey, blessings and balance to you, Regina. Blessings and balance to everyone that's tuning in right now. Y'all the real MVP, so shout out to y'all, most important.
Yes. Thank you so much. So I just want to dig in because we were talking a little earlier, we have something in common. We both lived in Smyrna, Georgia. Well, he there, we used to live there. So we got that in common, but we got something else that's going on that's in common with you. So just yesterday, we were just announced that Brittany was released from Russia to come home. And so why is that relevant, people? It's because he has a book. Because he was actually overseas held for 14 days in China, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did that happen to you?
Well, so on April 4th, 2019, I was getting ready to head to an event to meet with some colleagues and friends to just have fun, powwow, you know what I mean? And before I was getting ready to go, because I had like a couple hours before the event started. So I'm like, okay, I'm pregame before I go. So those that don't know what pre-gaming is, say you and some friends or family or whoever gonna go out on a night full of festivities, but before y'all go out, y'all say, hey, let's meet at my house and we can party a little bit at my house first, and then we're gonna go out and have even more fun. So I'm in my apartment by myself, listening to some good music, drinking some Chinese a Chinese wine cooler, and smoke some cannabis out my little silver pipe. After I get done, get dressed, finalizing everything before I get ready to leave, I hear a knock at the door. Guests aren't unfamiliar, so curious to see who it is. I look through the peephole, and there stood 3 officers from the Beijing police. So of course I'm spooked, shook, all that. So I put everything up. But this wasn't the first time they showed up to our apartment just randomly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really not sure what's the reason this time. So so I open the door. They question me about drugs. I'm from Atlanta, the city of finesse. You live by the finesse, you die by the finesse. So I'm like, drugs? I don't know what y'all talking about. Nah, y'all tripping. Y'all got me confused with somebody else. Passport? Yeah, you might want to see my passport. So we going back and forth. A few minutes pass. They ended up drug testing me right there on the spot. Failed the drug test. And then eventually I was arrested in my apartment and then escorted out of the apartment building and sat me down in the police van. We get to a precinct there briefly. I don't know all forms of communication at this point are gone. I don't know what's going on, what's going to happen, but I know I'm going to learn as time progresses. And it isn't like I can sit here and talk with these people anyway, you know what I mean? Because of the language barrier. So we had one precinct there briefly, and I'm just sitting there reflecting on and replaying everything that's just happened. But I'm calm now. I'm just like, damn, well, I can't believe this is happening. Like I'm still high, so it's like I'm just in disbelief that this is happening. But that morning I prayed to my ancestors and paid homage to my ancestors, so I knew I was gonna be good. I just ain't know what was gonna happen. But I remember telling myself to take note of every minor detail because it's gonna be a great story to tell once you got in this predicament. And to enjoy this high one last time because we don't know what's gonna happen to us, but I know it's gonna be a roller coaster. So 30 minutes pass. Now we get up, they escort me out of the precinct, and we get back in the van. I don't know what's going on now. So we riding. Next thing I know, we at another precinct. This one's a little bit bigger, and they do my official interrogation at this precinct, which is dramatic because they take me to the basement of the jail to do it, and to this white room, and lock me into this all metal chair that looks like an electric chair. So this chair locked my chins, thighs, waist, chest, arms, all in one place. Only part of my body I could move was my head. So I did my whole interrogation in the chair, locked in the chair like this. Then of course mugshot, handprint, and then the remaining time I'm just in the holding cell, just reflecting on everything and replaying all the scenarios, trying to come up with different types of scenarios or how everything could have played out. And then my high is finally coming down, so now I'm fading in and out of consciousness. I'm getting sleepy now, so just dozing in and out for hours until they finally call me, and then we back into the lobby of the precinct, and they bring my bachelor clothes, tell me to get dressed. I said, "Oh, man, see, look, this what happened. You be compliant with these folks. You know what I'm saying? You work your one, everything's smooth." Right. So I'm dressed, and I'm just sitting there waiting for the next set of orders. They had me follow them through a door behind the front desk in the lobby. So as I enter through this door, we're now in a hallway. At the end of the hallway is a small room crowded with officers. So I'm following the CO to this room. And as I enter the room, I can only assume it's some form of evidence room just because there's evidence bags everywhere. No sense of organization at all. But in front of me is a table. And the center of the table is everything else confiscated from my apartment. And they take the cannabis and they weigh it up right there in front of me. Now, this is an interesting phase within the book because, one, as a reader, you're curious to know, okay, how much does he actually have on him? Right. 2, when have you ever seen or heard of law enforcement weighing up whatever you just got caught with right up in front of you? Yeah, that's not common either. And then 3, with me not receiving any information whatsoever throughout this entire process, I'm here to tell y'all I did 14 days. As you read the book, you don't know what's going on. You learn as you go. So with me not receiving any information whatsoever, I received a lot of signs and messages from my ancestors letting me know how long I was going to be there and how the process would be as far as my release and all of that. So this is one of the very first and only live in action sign I received. So they weighed the weed up in front of me, and it totals out to be 1.4 grams. Now, for those that partake in cannabis, 1.4 grams isn't a lot. If you don't partake in cannabis, we're talking units of measurements. 1.4 grams of anything isn't a lot. So I really have none of I'm saying nothing, for real. But you look at that number, 1.4. If you remove that decimal, what number is that?
14.
It's the title of the book. You know what I'm saying? Now, did I catch that sign initially? Not at all. That thing was clean over my head. But that's just one example of the messages, the signs that my ancestors were sending me, just in regards to some type of information, since I was left to make sense of it on my own. So they put it.
Chancellor, before you go, this is really okay. I know it's another country, so they have different rules and regulations. So I got that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
No kind of legal representation at all was offered. They don't do that there. They don't even offer, or they don't have that.
It's a communist country. It's a communist country. So I guess you gotta really like have done something crazy to like have to go before a judge. I'm just assuming I don't know how long. To this day, I still don't know how law enforcement work. You know what I'm saying? My experience was a certain experience. Like once I get to the actual jail and you start to meet all the other different characters, everybody else knows all their defect, all their information, all their details to the fullest extent. I'm the only one that don't know a thing. For some reason, I'm the only one that was not explained. Nothing was explained to, but everybody else knows. You know what I'm saying? All their information to the fullest extent.
Were they foreigners or were they?
Yeah, foreigners. Yeah, I'm the only one. I'm the only one. But you know what I'm saying? That's what makes my story what it is. And with all that being said, I'm the only one that ain't received no information, but I ended up doing the shortest amount of time out of every other foreigner that at least I was, you know what I'm saying, I encountered. So it all played, it was full circle. It played out the way it was supposed to, for sure.
Right. So when you did the 14 days, you wasn't told you were doing 14. You were just sitting there, and they just came to you on that day and said, "Okay, let's go." Wow.
Yeah.
So you didn't know how long you were going to be there.
I had no clue.
Okay, so after they did the arraignment, they actually just put you in a jail cell, and you just like, okay, and you just stay there, day in and day out, and nobody talked. Nobody said nothing to you.
After they put how much weed I got caught with on paper and had me sign the thumbprint it. We got back in that van. I'm like, okay, I've been in custody. And now I'm looking at the clock, the radio on the clock. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, y'all arrested me around like 11 a.m. So it's like I've been in custody all day. You know what I mean? There's no. I've been working with y'all. I've been complying. I'm like, there's no way they're not taking me home. We riding. Next thing I know, we arrive at a facility detailed with tall walls and barbed wire. I was like, yeah, we just getting started. So yeah, they took me from precinct to precinct, straight to the jail, and you know what I'm saying, to the infirmary, do a quick physical. Of course, get me out of my regular clothes, put me in a jail uniform. They gave me a Tupperware bowl, a plastic spoon, and then took me upstairs to cell 207, to where the second floor is where all the men are housed, and then we get to cell 207, and CO opens the door. And then mine's just like probably like 4 o'clock in the morning at this point. So folks asleep. He opens the door. My psych is instantly thrown at the setup of the cell. The setup of the cell is nothing but a big rectangle. I'd say 15 feet long. And 15 yards long, 10 yards wide. And yeah. And of course, the height is definitely high. The ceiling's high, but it's not really a big space. I step into the cell. I have probably 2 yards worth of walking room before the bunks start. So the beds, the wooden bunks, and they stretch from right where I'm standing all the way to the back of the cell. So you only got pretty much an alleyway of an L in the cell.
L in the wall. Mm-hmm.
But and the beds are going against the right side of the cell. So they stretch from right there all the way to the back. You got a TV in the cell that's right above the cell door. So say I'm standing in the door, it's right above the TV. Yeah, it's TV mounted on the wall right above the cell door. Bathroom is to the left. It's its own separate room, but all the walls are made of glass, so everybody can see inside. It's a sink, a squat toilet, so pretty much a hole in the ground you got to squat over. Shower hose, shower ain't nothing but a water hose with a shower head duct taped to it. You got black mold coating the walls, gnats and stuff flying around. So it's not the most sanitary place, to say the least. And on the beds I describe it in the book as a slumber. It looks like a slumber party. And standing across from the slumber party against the wall are 2 Chinese inmates wide awake watching the rest of the inmates sleep. So with us being the few people awake, we make eye contact and we're in disbelief at what we see. The last thing I expected to see 2 people watching other people sleep. The last thing these Chinese folks expected to see was a brother with locks coming through the door. So we just got this awkward moment of like, what's going on here? But I walked over to the as I'm taking steps closer towards the beds, I'm doing a head count. Including me, it's 15 of us in this cell. I count the beds, it's 9 wooden beds. I'm like, well, that explains why it looks like a slumber party. So I approach the slumber party trying to find a spot to lie down, and one of the inmates taking watch wakes 2 people up to make room for me, and they do. They had me set my bowl and my spoon in the cubby that's under the bunks, and I lie down between 2 Chinese men with my hands on my chest, on my back, staring at the bright light on the ceiling, just like this here.
Oh wow!
That's when reality fully kicked in. Like, okay, yeah, you in here. You don't know how long you're gonna be here. You don't even know what your situation looking like for real. Nobody knows you're in here. Nothing's been explained to you for real. It's not looking too good. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, we got to hold ourselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? We can't blame nobody or point the finger at nobody for us being in this situation but us. So with that being said, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Got to take this to the chin. Now, moving forward, you go ahead.
I'm just wow, this is fascinating because just knowing the unknown and just knowing you don't know nothing alone is enough. Just you not knowing anything. You know, if you was here, you have known everything. You'll know what you've been charged for. You've been getting a lawyer. You know, you still have been concerned, but you wouldn't be as lost. But for you to be there, laying it between 2 people, and not knowing what's going to happen. It's just strength. That's called strength. I guarantee you learned and you built a lot of character and stuff while you was in there, right? Like you just
It
became a
was
whole new
really
person.
just me, how charismatic I am throughout the whole ordeal and how I'm handling the situation. Most people would have, like you said, would have lost their mind. They would have flipped out. My life has everything we go through is preparation for what's in store. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, this was nothing but another set of adversity. You know what I'm saying? And anything I've tried to pursue, I had to go through adversity doing it. We're really just a universe testing to see how bad I truly want it. Or it's something that I really need to learn from situations. So, you know what I mean? Adversity introduces a man to himself. So it's nothing. I never shy away from adversity. You know what I'm saying? I embrace adversity, if anything. Especially after football. So accountability, you know what I'm saying? Ownership. You know, all this stuff was instilled in us, especially playing D1 college football. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know it was. So let's get to the part of you finding out you were coming out on that 14th day. Like, how was that?
It was, I had an epiphany just because I had a dream that let me know how my release would be. And I didn't say this is how your release is gonna be. It was a dream of me just being released just randomly, and it was just how the release happened. It would end up being the same exact way it was on that 14th day. So I'm really I've been down to grab my bowl and stuff, and I just pause and I'm just sitting there. I flash back to the dream I had and making the connections and how similar the situations are, and I'm just more in disbelief about how tapped in and in tune I have been with my subconscious and the spiritual realm within these 14 days here. I'm like this. I feel like this is the most tapped in and connected I've been. You know what I'm saying? And my spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? Or at least my spiritual awakening. So I was very, very in tune, tapped in, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. They calling you to go. So I get on up out of there. They take me downstairs, you know what I'm saying, so I can get dressed in my regular clothes, have me sign a bunch of documents, and then we get in the van. They take me to my apartment to pack up the rest of my stuff, and then straight to the airport where I'm deported from the country.
Oh, wait a minute. So they just walk up to the jail cell and say, "Come on," and you get up and go. They get dressed. They take you to your apartment. Now, how you gonna get everything out of your apartment?
Really, man. Because I ain't really come. All that came over there for real. It was close. And my
okay. So you just got your stuff.
Yeah, I ain't I brought
you to the airport. Yeah. They must have tickets. They already had tickets for you.
Yeah. So on day 7, they collected all the foreigners in the jail, and they took us to the lobby, and we was meeting with the immigration dude 1-on-1, and he was pretty much asking us, is there somebody that can buy us a ticket for whenever it is our time to get up out of here? So that's when we, you know what I'm saying, made that exchange as far as giving him somebody that he can contact to buy our plane ticket. So
your family at that point knows what's going on.
Yeah. My mom was, I was finally got to talk to her, and I was like, yo, what's going on? She was like, you tell me. I'm locked up. She said, yeah, I got an email from the U.S. Embassy. Let me know you have been arrested. She said, yeah, your brother dropped me off at the airport right now. I'll be in China tomorrow by 4 p.m. I said, damn.
Wow. All right. That's a mama. That's a mama. That's a mama. Mama don't play now. He said, I'll be there at 4 o'clock.
We only had a brief. I just asked her, like, okay, can you buy the plane ticket? Because the immigration, I told the immigration, like, bro, I got more than enough money. Said I could buy it, but say, no, we need somebody else to buy it. I'm like, all right. So I asked her. She said she could buy it. After she confirmed she could buy it, he made me get off the phone with her. So that was the last bit of contact I had with anybody till, you know what I'm saying, for another 7 days.
Wow, that is a remarkable story. So in this whole story, you birthed this book, And so when
Yeah,
you birthed this book, you kind of started a whole nother direction in your life. So you started helping others be able to write and speak their truth, right?
yeah, yeah. We all have stories. We all have stories. We've all been through traumatic experiences, horrific experiences, romantic experiences,
Hmm.
fun experiences, dark experiences. So it's like we all got stories to share, and you'd be surprised who you could touch or you could reach. You know what I'm saying, with your story. Who somebody out there is going through something similar, or already went through it, or is finna go
Hmm.
through it. Little do they know. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah, we all each one teach one. Iron sharpens iron, just like we say in football.
That's true. So when you came back home, when you came and stepped your foot back on U.S. soil, you got back to the house. Did
Mm.
you feel different? Did you feel that you have been changed, or in some fashion, or did people notice that a change in you since you came back home?
And folks ain't even folks was like, dang, boy, it's been a year already. I'm like, bro, folks had no clue. You know what I'm saying? They really, a lot of people ain't even know I was in China. You know what I'm saying, to begin with. So, um, it really, like, a lot of people ain't know I was back. A lot of people ain't even know I left in the first place.
Oh, okay, all
Some people thought it had been a year already. So it was really like folks ain't know. Folks living their lives. They losing no sleep or work. You know what I'm saying? They got their own
right.
problems and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with. So it wasn't until I started telling them, okay, yeah, bro, this is what happened. Walking through the whole story. And now they're like, oh, the whole vibe and perspective changed now. And they got all these questions, whoop, and just telling it
Mm-hmm.
verbally. I was like, oh yeah, I got something on my hands. I don't know how I want to go about sharing this story with the masses, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I know I got something on my hand. It wasn't until like July. I was with one of my friends I grew up with, and he was a published author before we graduated high school in 2014. He was like, "Hey, bro, you should
Nice.
write a book." Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, "You should write a book about the experience." I'm like, "Well, that's a good idea. I don't even know where to start, but that's a great idea." He took it further. He took my phone, went in my notes section, left me a 5-layer outline, and I just started filling in the outline. And with me filling in the outline, I caught a flow for how I wanted to tell the story. So I moved it from my notes to a Google Doc so I could type it up. 4 months later, the story is finished, at least being written. It was, you know what I'm saying, I finished writing the story. And then spent the next 10 months just perfecting it and getting it ready for publishing. And while I was still on precinct, I was the number one new bestseller in 3 different genres.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That is a story to tell. I'm telling you. So after we now doing all this and you helping other people to kind of find that purpose, did your purpose change since you came back, or is it the
Uh,
same? You just have more fire.
well, when football came to an end for me, my senior year, like last game of the season, I had no clue what was going to be next. I didn't know who I was. It was a whole crossroad I was at, as far as having to re-identify myself and learn myself all over again. I
Hmm.
lived and embodied a student athlete, a football player to the fullest, and now that is no longer the case. Chancellor,
Yeah.
who are you?
Hmm.
What's
That's a big.
next? What do you want to do? Who do you aspire to be? What do you even like to do? What are you good at? You know what I'm saying? What's your purpose?
Hmm.
I couldn't answer any of these questions. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't even know where to start, but I know I got to start somewhere. And with that being said, I don't know what I want to do. I got to try any and everything until I figure it out. And
That's
that's
right.
all I've been doing. Just trying stuff out. And it took me going to China, you know what I'm saying? And I live my best life prior to getting locked up. China was absolutely amazing. I encourage everybody to travel abroad. If you could live abroad someplace else, highly recommend it. Especially a place you've always been fond of. Highly, highly recommend it. It's an enlightening experience. Um, yeah, so live my best life in China, get locked up, fall on my face, you know what I'm saying? Get out. Now I'm back to square one all over again, just like when football ended. All right, Chance, what's next? What you gonna do? But this is how my life has been. It's just, you know what I'm saying, adversity, having to face adversity and having to push through that adversity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But with me
Right.
steady clawing and fighting and pushing, hey, I accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? I accomplished a lot. So it started with football. I ain't started playing football till 8th grade. Most people have been playing football since they was 4 and 5 years old. So I was late. So it took me the first year just to catch up to the speed of the game, physically and mentally. And then once I caught up to speed, I still got to work my way up the rankings. I ain't really get to start on varsity until my senior year of high school. And then with that being said, I ain't had no scouts, no interest, no looks from no colleges like that. But playing college football had been a goal of mine since I started playing football at 13 years old. And my high school been sorry since 2008. So it wasn't like colleges was coming to our school to come recruit anyway. And our coaches wasn't putting forth no effort to push us. So I had to make that happen. I had to market myself to a bunch of colleges. I got myself in the Stetson. I got myself on the team. I made that happen. But I got my foot in the door. I still got a whole lot of more work to do. I'm pretty much a walk-on at D1 school.
Walk-on.
Yeah, I got work to do. And I'm going crazy. My first year, my freshman fall camp, going crazy. Earned a starting spot on our nickel package from defense. Very first game of the season. My first time stepping foot on the field as a college football player. I made the tackle, forced a fumble, and recovered it all in the same play.
All right.
Miraculous play for a freshman. His first time on the field, like very first play. I ain't touched the field the rest of that season.
Wow.
Ain't touched the field the rest of that season. So this is just adversity. Ran his ugly head, you know what I'm saying, along my journey, just test me. How bad did you want it? I ain't really get to start at my actual position until my senior year of college, just like high school all over again. So once football, I didn't really knew like sophomore year. I'm like, the league is at the question. That's not happening. I've been dealing with so much politics, which is high school and college, I can't even imagine at the professional level when it's strictly business. Yeah, I don't know. I'm good. I'm good. It's time for me to close this chapter and move on and find the next endeavor or endeavors, whatever that may be. And with that being said, I'm like, I don't know what's next, but I just got to try stuff out. I was applying.
But you're doing though. See, Chancellor, that's the best part about this. You're open to receive. Mm-hmm. You're open to receive. A lot of people are not open to receive, and that's why they miss stuff. They miss blessings and opportunities to grow because they don't want change, or they're scared of change or diversity. They think that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's actually good because it's telling you you're doing the same. You're going the right way. You're just learning stuff on that way because you're going to need these tools when you get where you got to go. So we got to stop looking at, I had talked to high school yesterday, and I said we need to stop talking about failure. Failure is not what you think it is. Failure means you do nothing. That's what failure means, doing nothing. If you're doing things and it doesn't work out in your favor, it doesn't mean it didn't work out. It just didn't work out the way you wanted it, but it probably worked out the way it's supposed to. Because it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. See, that's the mindset that has to change.
Oh, me, yeah. Oh, me, so that's... I've always been positive, always been kept a level head, and just been resilient. Always been resilient because it's like this stuff. Football is my very first love, very first passion, and I had to transfer that energy towards something else. But I'm like, I knew once I find my next football, it's over with. I said that's
what it is. Your next football. That's your next passion, right?
It's over with because all the energy I put into football and what I was able to accomplish with that, I'm like, hey, it's up.
You're not doing bad at all, Chancellor. You're doing an amazing job. I mean, please, let's talk family. Let's support him and get his book. And he has other books as well. This is not the only one he has. He has several books on Amazon. So if you look under his name, Chancellor K. Jackson, you'll be able to pull up all his other books as well. And I'm so proud of you because you actually took diversity and made it into your benefit. You turned it around. And I actually have a daughter that's the same age as you. So it's good to see that generation doing some amazing things. So keep up doing what you're doing, Chancellor.
Appreciate it. It's all part of the journey. It's all a part of the journey.
All part of the journey. Is there anything you want to say to my family before we leave out today?
Yeah, man, y'all can find me on all social media platforms except TikTok. I ain't on there, but you'll find me on everything else. Just Google me. Google Chancellor K. Jackson. You'll find all my social media links. My website, chancellorkjackson.com. My book's available on my website as well as Amazon. My other 2 books are a romance a romance saga, but all 3 books is one series, so it's all telling one long story. But the other 2 books are titled "You Love and You Learn" and "Real Love Never Dies," and that's pretty much a story about a man's first step towards gaining emotional intelligence. And I also have the audiobook for 14 days that y'all could listen to, available on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. Yeah, I think that's all of them. So yeah, y'all can listen to it, and I'm narrating it. It's a vibe for sure. And yeah, man, I just want to leave y'all with this message. This message is from Nipsey Hussle. And for those that don't know who Nipsey Hussle was, he was a serial entrepreneur, but was well known for his music, his activism, what he did in his community and for his community, and his clothing line. But the message goes, long-winded, running through this life like it was mine. Never settling, but setting every goal high. 1,000 burpees on the path to my own self-destruction or success. But what's a mistake without the lesson? You see, the best teacher in life is your own experience. And none of us know who we are until we fail. They say every person is defined by their reaction to any given situation. So, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Whatever you choose to do, homie, give your heart to. Stay strong.
That is a perfect ending. Perfect ending. Yes, he was an amazing man. He was an amazing man. And like you said, it's all in your hands. Your destiny is on you. You got to make it happen. And if you don't, you're going to sit there and let it happen to you, because it's going to happen regardless. If you do anything or nothing, it's going to happen regardless. So you might as well take control of it, right? So thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much. As you see on the bottom of the screen is his website, Chancellor's website, and his email address there. So you're able to contact him. And so thank you again for joining us today on Let's Talk 1943. This was an amazing show. And I know somebody's been blessed, and I know people have learned a lot. And when you think you have a bad day, your bad day is not as bad as it could be.
Hey, what?
After they watch this, they're like, oh, that ain't nothing.
Can never complain.
Can never complain. That's right. Do not complain. All right. So until next time, Let's Talk family. As I always say, love you. God bless, and have a good one. Take care.